let's get to the calls. It's now time for You Called.
You Called. Presented by Playground.
You Called, presented by Playground. All right, okay. All right. Jeff.
Hello, Tony. How's it going, my friend?
I'm going good. And by the way,
Yeah.
I stood up for myself. I'm true to myself, and I'm going to continue to stand up for myself. For me, now it's a matter of principle. Want to be like that with me? I'll be like that with you. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Tony. I'm calling from Quebec City. I'm actually a neighbor to Patrick Roy.
You're a neighbor to Patrick Roy.
Not very far. I see him very often. He's very cool.
He's very cool with you or cold?
No, he's cool. He's a cool guy. He's cool with people who are fans of the game. He speaks with everybody. I go to the ramparts very often. And, well, I don't see him as the GM of the Canadians. That's for sure. I never have. But coaching, we never know.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I always loved Patrick as a player and a goalie. How can you not? I mean, he was the catalyst of winning 2 Stanley Cups in '86 and in '93. Having said that, I think he's way too emotional to have occupied one of the most important positions in the Montreal Canadiens organization. And I know a lot of people wanted to see him hired. There were actually some people that actually even lobbied for him during some press conferences and stuff like that, brought up his name, wrote articles about him. I don't think it would have worked out with him and the Canadiens. Having said that, I think it's nice that they brought him back in the family. And I think it's nice if he would come around every now and then. I think it was pretty cool also last week, by the way, speaking of alumni, that Richard Zednik was in town because his daughter goes to school here. And he wanted to meet Juraj Slafkovsky, of course. And Zednik was telling members of the media that Slafkovsky is just absolutely huge in Slovakia. And he's the talk of Slovakia right now. And he was allowed into the locker room like alumni should be. And that was a pleasant change over, the way it all went down a couple of years ago.
Well, Patrick also brought 2 Stanley Cups to the Avalanche. He's such a winner. I mean, the guy he's passionate about the game. You can't take that away from him.
He's a winner as a goalie for sure. That you cannot take away from him. Would he win a Stanley Cup if he was a coach or a general manager here? Winning as a player does not guarantee that. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. We go to Laval.
Grazie per il tuo lavoro.
Oh, grazie a te. Madonna mia, come parli bene l'italiano.
Buonasera, mi amigo.
Buonasera, amico mio. Wow, you see when it's making the effort. That's amazing. I'm hearing Jordan is back. Jordan, are you there? Jordan, are you there?
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Jordan.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I've had better nights.
Why? What's wrong with you?
Well, look, my Leafs took an L, as usual.
You're a Jordan, the Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and they lost to the Arizona Coyotes. There's worse in life. How about me going on the air this morning with Jean-Charles Lajoie and telling him that Toronto was going to cover the 1.5? I don't know why I did that, because my first instinct was to take the Rangers over Anaheim. Anyway, I didn't. You're always supposed to listen to your first instinct. Anyway, I got it wrong. What else? So why is a Leafs fan calling the Sick Podcast tonight, even though everyone is welcome? I'm curious what you're going to talk about, because I don't feel like talking about the Leafs tonight.
No, that's fine. I turned it off because the other day I had a chance to meet Caden Gooley. And I said, let me just check in on this Habs game, see what's going on. The kid had 2 assists. And then, of course, I got to see the overtime goal. I'm just, where do you see Gooley moving forward on this team?
Where do I see Gooley moving forward on this team? He's the best defenseman on the team.
By far, right?
Well, right now, without Mike Matheson, he's the best defenseman on the team. When Mike Matheson when Mike Matheson comes back. I mean, Mike Matheson's been in the National Hockey League for 8 years. He skates like the wind, and he's got a lot of games under his belt. So you would think that he's going to be the number one defenseman on the team. But right now, in his absence, Caden Gooley's the number one defenseman on the team. And at worst case, the way this is all going to go down, he's going to end up being the number 3, because the only guys that can end up passing him right now are Edmondson and Matheson. And with all due respect to Edmondson, Caden Gooley, I think, moves the puck a lot better than Edmondson. So I think at worst case scenario, this guy's going to be a number 2. But right now, he's a number 1. Jordan, thank you for calling. Even though you're a Leafs fan, I thought that was kind of cool. All right, there you have it. Jordan, the Leafs fan. I'm Marinaro, and that clip you just watched is from our most recent episode of the Sick Podcast. Once again, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free, and you'll be notified when we go live. I'm Marinaro. Tell your friends about it. This podcast, like me, is pretty sick.